History Break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Nationwide at 6 on NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about 2-3 important stories. Important stories because last I checked, India is still a secular country, not just because I say so, because the constitution of our country says that India is a secular country where all religion can, in fact, people of all faith, religion can coexist. But what is happening just before Christmas, and it's not a state-specific problem, it is coming from across this country from many places, is absolutely shocking. Why is somebody's festival been a sore or a problem for others? We'll talk about this. And then another story, if there is one shocking story, the other one, in fact, that you should be talking about today is how we treat our athletes. This is how we treat our athletes. Orissa wrestlers, literally, their journey near the toilet, thrown near the toilet, ladies and gentlemen. These are the sports people we expect that will bring us medals after medals, and we treat them and give them this kind of, in fact, facilities. We'll talk about both these stories in the course of the show, and then, of course, later we will also bring for you an exclusive interview with Dr. G. Madhvi Lata, the lady behind the connection, India's connection, Kashmir's connection to Kanyakumari, the highest rail bridge, Chenab, the chief engineer. We'll get her as well on the broadcast. But I want to start with some shocking visuals. As I said, not from one city, one state, but different places coming in right ahead of Christmas. From threats to cancellations to street harassment, public bullying. There are some dharm ke thekedar, those who have decided that the country will run exactly the way they want it to run. Constitution can be thrown in the dustbin for them. They don't care. They don't care what our constitution says, law says, it doesn't matter to them. If you are a so-called dharm ka rakshak, then you have the freedom to go across and do whatever you want. Look at these 3 visuals. Abused, bullied, and harassed in one place after another. Whether it's Madhya Pradesh, Haridwar, or Orissa. And I'm sorry to say, these events or people being harassed at the hands of the right-wing activists, extremists, goons, I'm sorry, but they are emboldened in BJP-ruled states, and that's a fact. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And the government, which believes in the rule of the law, in the letter and spirit of the Constitution, must act against them. Or the question would be whether it's complicity or is that what they want, this kind of mobocracy taking over our country. I want to, in fact, tell you one by one about all these things. In Puri, a vendor selling Santa caps was heckled, a poor man trying to make living. In Jabalpur, a visually impaired woman was physically abused over conversion allegations by a BJP functionary. And then, of course, in Haridwar, a right-wing activist threatened a hotel which wanted to, in fact, have a party on Christmas, decorations. It can't happen in Dharam Nagari, Haridwar. That's what they wanted. I want to, one by one, in fact, tell you about all these stories. First, from Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. A BJP leader, this woman that you are seeing on your screen standing in a sari, she's fighting with a visually impaired woman, accusing her of religious conversion. In the video, this woman is abused in public while the police is present there, doing absolutely nothing. Not only does she accuse this woman of, in fact, participating in an event where allegedly she accuses this woman of, in fact, helping for religious conversion. Why have you brought your children? And because she's blind, this lady, the BJP leader in Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur, has the audacity to tell her that even in your next life, you are going to be blind. She goes on to say absolutely horrendous things to her. Right next to her sitting are her children. And they have to hear all this because there is state patronage. And why I'm saying state patronage? Because the policeman is standing there doing nothing. No questions being asked. There is absolute outcry on this. Then I want to take you to Puri. Take a look at this. This is a poor man, young man. He's not begging. He's not a criminal. He's trying to make his living by selling these Santa caps because it's the Christmas season. But now there is a new government in the state of Odisha. And these goons, I am calling these right-wing activist goons, are seen heckling this poor man on the street selling Santa caps. In the video, the seller is being told that they cannot sell Christian items in Hindu land. When did India become a Hindu land? When did we become a Hindu Rashtra? This bullying goes on. It has sparked a lot of anger. And once again, Odisha is a BJP-ruled state. These people should be booked and put behind bars. And then finally, from Haridwar, where right-wing groups threatened a Christmas event planned at a hotel near Ganga. They made a full video and they know that all these videos go viral. Some of them will be aspirants for a ticket, maybe from the BJP, because again, Uttarakhand is a BJP-ruled state. Following the threats, the hotel cancelled the event. The groups objected to Christmas celebrations in this hotel, saying that in Haridwar, no other religion should in fact go across and celebrate their festivals. This is growing intolerance, and this intolerance is growing only because there is a silence understanding from the state that nothing will happen if you do these kind of events. These three incidents, disturbing pattern, one after another. The question now we are being asked, what about the law and order? And what about the safety of the minorities in our own country? I want you to take a look at this report which sums it up.
Christmas is round the corner and it's season to be merry. But for some, it's the season to harass, attack, and bully. A number of videos have surfaced in the last few days where right-wing groups are up in arms against celebrations, church gatherings, or simply those selling Christmas stuff on roads. The most shocking is the video of a BJP leader in Madhya Pradesh's Jabalpur harassing a visually impaired woman in a church. The footage shows the leader making comments about the woman's disability and accusing her of conversions. In front of her scared daughter sitting next to the woman. All this while a policeman stands there, meekly trying to pacify the raging woman. The woman in the video has been identified as BJP district functionary Anju Bhargava. In Odisha's Puri, a band of men are seen harassing poor roadside vendors selling Santa hats ahead of Christmas. The agitated men insist that Christian items should not be sold in the Hindu state. The poor vendors trying to make a living stand helplessly in the face of this bullying.
हरिद्वार में होने जा रहा है गंगा किनारे क्रिसमस ईव सेलिब्रेशन वो भी पहली बार ये होगा.
In UP's Haridwar, a Christmas celebration planned on the banks of the Ganga has been called off after protests by Hindu groups. The government-run hotel along the Ganga Ghat had advertised a Christmas program scheduled for the evening of December 24th through social media promotions. The announcement quickly drew objections from members of the local priest community who questioned the appropriateness of holding such an event on the riverfront in a major pilgrimage center. Worried about disruptions, the hotel has quickly cancelled the event. This begs the question, why are these goons allowed to turn a festival into a flashpoint? NDTV Bureau Report.
This hatred for the other religion, this hatred for anybody else who doesn't follow your own religion is something that is reserved for people, for Taliban or for other extremist groups. Why is it seeping in India? And the only answer is, and I'm sorry to say, it's happening, all these three incidents from the BJP ruled state. There are videos from Delhi as well. BJP functionary, Ms. Bhargav, in fact, going on and making such filthy comments against a blind woman. In fact, going on to even attack her. This is happening because it is going unchecked. On one hand, while the Prime Minister, in fact, in 2024, he went for the midnight mass, he reached out to the Christian community. It seems that the people from his own party and from the right-wing groups, that message is lost on them. I want to very quickly go across to John Dayal, ex-member of the National Integration Council. He's joining us at this moment. Ishika Taneja is a Dharam Guru who's also joining us on the broadcast. I thank both of you for speaking to us here on NDTV. Ishika, I want to start with you first. Under which rule are people allowed to harass anybody celebrating their own festival in this country? Last I checked, the Constitution said it's a secular country.
I also believe it is a secular country, and I do not feel that anybody can actually tell anyone what to celebrate, what not to celebrate. But I also want to understand under what rule do people have the right to actually convert people, and it is very selected conversion. This Christmas celebration does not happen in any masjid. They do not go to any Muslim school called madrasa, but they want Hindu kids to wear those Santa caps. Then they do not want any, Christian convent school that we should have any tilak on our forehead. They don't want that we should wear any kalava. But they also want us to, sing those Christmas carols, and they want us to actually talk about Santa and we are being pressurized even in offices and all the MNCs that we need to be a secret Santa for somebody else when I'm not in favor of one specific religion. Then where is media at that time?
I'll tell you where the media is at that time, Ishika Taneja. Hold on to that thought. Hold on to what you're saying. I'll tell you where the media is at that thought. You are saying that Hindus are so gullible that anybody will put a Santa cap on your head and suddenly you will be converted into Christianity.
No, sir.
There are 2.2% Christians in this country. The 86% Hindus are so scared that anybody will come and just convert them into Hinduism.
I'm asking about the little kids who are going into convent schools because
their parents have decided that they will go to convent schools. What's your problem with that? Who are you to tell them which school should they go or not?
Anybody who's going to a convent school, they have been forced to wear caps, sing Christmas carols, and I'm party to one of those.
Tell me, I have not seen any video of a parent outraging that they do not want to wear a Santa cap or they don't want to celebrate Christmas. It's people like you who have a problem. If you have a problem, keep your outrage at home. Don't go and harass people. Are you okay with that woman, the BJP functionary, almost slapping a blind girl, telling her that you will be blind in your next janam as well because you are, coming to celebrate Christmas? Is that all right in this country?
There are 2 points in that. One, that is, she is doing whatever she is doing by herself. Nobody is supporting her. Second, if there is no next janam in Christianity, so she shouldn't be fearing that problem, that harassment should not affect her anyway. Third, she's been converting people softly in the garb of being blind and also having a kid along because
Wow,
she has
she's converting
kid.
people.
And because
Have
she's
some
blind,
shame, Ishika.
so
Have some shame.
conversions can
Converting
happen
people,
under that
converting
garb.
people,
How is that
converting
possible?
people in the garb of
How
being
is that
blind.
happening?
Converting
This
people in the
soft
garb of being
conversion
blind.
of things-
Ishika Taneja, you know, I wanted to go to John Dayal as well, but I want to ask, it's absolutely outrageous what you are saying. And I know why you are saying this, because it gives you that 15 seconds of fame. And it's my problem that I've got you on this show, but I want to ask you this. Tell me one thing. How many years has Christianity been in this country?
Sir, my problem is that
No.
it has been
Answer the question.
too-
For how many years has Christianity been in this country?
Sir, I do not know for how many years because I don't need to learn the history of Christianity. What I really
So if
need
you
to
don't know for how many
what
years
I need
Christianity
to
has been
say-
in this
One
country,
second, sir, you are giving me 15
in the hundreds and thousands of years of its existence, they have only been able to
It was
convert
not
2.2%
longer than
people.
in Sanatan
And you are in 2025 worried that they will go across, convert the entire country into Christians.
Sir, if you would give me the chance to speak, I would like to speak on that matter. First of
I
all,
would give you
I
a chance
was in
to
a
speak
convent
when you
school.
can speak something
for
with sense.
riots,
You can't say that a
for
woman is
blind
blind and using
international-
her disability to convert people softly.
Telling
This
you,
is
sir,
shameful.
can I please share my own experience or am I not even allowed to speak?
First, you'll have
Thank
to
you so
apologize
much.
to what you have said about the blind woman.
I am talking about I was in a convent school and I was in London School of Economics. I have studied in London, I've studied in LA, I've been in a convent education school. All of these 3 areas, people have come up to me to convert me and I can state that time and again. Why this soft conversion keeps on happening even before we have turned 18 because they know those kids have that vulnerable mind and they can softly convert us.
You didn't convert. You didn't convert.
To remove this kalema.
So you didn't convert.
Sir, this kaleva
Don't
was
show
asked
these
to be
antics,
removed.
the unnecessary-
This kaleva was asked to be removed, but I was forced to wear those caps when I had no voice in our country. When I was a young kid, I was told to sing those Christmas carols, and every day we were
Wow.
told that we need to remember this every day.
You
We
don't
were
like
supposed
Christmas,
to
don't celebrate
recite
it. Why
books
give,
from the
why,
Bible, sir.
why, in fact, go on and give
Why
these sermons
should
to
I
others?
have
John
that
Dayal, I
right
want to bring you in at
Where
this
is my
moment
right
because
to
it's
choose?
almost like preaching to a wall.
Where
The
is
fact
my
is,
right to
they've
choose,
made
sir?
it
I
as,
ask this
at this
question to
moment,
you.
I have only mentioned 3 incidents. All these incidents
I am
from
telling you
across
my own life
different parts
experience
of this
to
country,
that as an
largely
incident.
all 3 of
That is
them,
why this
the
biasness-
coincidence is that all 3 of them are in the BJP ruled state. Is there a sense of fear as far as the Christians are concerned or a sense of insecurity, around these
Why is
festivals
this
when you see these
coming
incidents?
from you that you do not want to listen to?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. And through you and this studio, I would like to greet your audience and you the joy and the peace of Christmas. I would also like to tell you, not of my anger at this young lady from the London School of Economics, quite patently LSE failed, but I want to tell you how hate
LSE is
has
not
been
trying to
normalized
tell me which religion I'm
in this
supposed to
country.
follow.
Not by
Ishika,
this
LSE is
young
supposed to
He did not
educate me in
intervene
economics.
when you
He
were
has done a
speaking.
quite a
Extend him
decent
the
job.
same courtesy.
14
At least extend him the same courtesy.
No, you cannot call my alma mater.
At least extend the same courtesy to him.
This is what happens
That's the
in
least
Kashmir.
that you can do. No matter
They
what
say-
religion you
they
follow,
say
being courteous
things
is
which
something
is
that is
very
told or
softly.
taught in every religion. So now let him speak. I will come to you. Thanks. Sir, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I would, as I said, like to focus not so much on these incidents. They happen every Christmas for the last 11 years, but on the normalization of hate, of venom, of violence. It is not just in these 3 states, it's been happening north, south, east, west, and mostly in the center, Chhattisgarh and Uttar Pradesh. We document these things. over the last few years. Last year, there were almost 800 cases of violence against Christians, many of them in the Christmas and the Easter seasons. This year, the figure may go over 1,000. Over 1,000 cases of violence against people who are innocent, entirely peaceful, haven't hurt an ant in this holy country of ours. What do our leaders say? Mr. Modi on 25th is coming to my church to light a candle. The Vice President was our guest at Christmas dinner, and we were his guests at Christmas lunch the next day.
Okay.
But this tokenism doesn't permeate. Officially itself, 25th is also the birthday of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Some government in the past made it Good Governance Day, but you don't enforce it with such venomous zeal, forcing people to come on 25th. Children in their schools, if they don't come, if the teachers don't come, if the teachers or students don't come, it will be held against them.
Right.
What is the state telling us? What is the state telling these people in Jabalpur? What is the state telling all these people? You've got 1,000 pastors arrested over the last 12 months on charges of fake.
Let me come back
conversion.
to you. So let me ask
How can there be a
this,
fake conversion?
You know, while you were saying that, people are forced in schools to wear those caps, sing carols and so forth, that might be your grouse, but the fact is a street
Nobody's
vendor
forced.
selling the
If you go to any market, people buy those caps of
Absolutely.
their own will.
Somebody coming to him is buying those caps on his own volition. What right does anybody, you or anyone has, to go and heckle that man who's standing there selling those Christmas caps? If somebody wants to come and buy, they're buying of their own volition. What's the problem in that?
Sir, I'll tell you what is the problem. Like Sir said, with all due respect, now, sir, please, it's my time. Thank you so much, sir. I waited for your time.
So this is not fair. May I just point out...
Hold on. Mr. Syal, hold on. I'm coming to you, sir. Just give me a second. Let her respond. I'll come to you. Go ahead.
Sir, this is the problem. Like Sir very softly said, and he called out on my alma mater, which is London School of Economics, that it failed, not because of looking at my degree, but because I had made my choice not to get converted into Christian. So, according to Sir, if I'm speaking anything against the pressure that I had faced during my time of education, instead of understanding that I had passed with the best grades possible, that I was also, doing extremely well in my education, he just said that LSE totally failed. So what usually happens is that they are very soft-spoken. They do not really confront you like the radical Islamists, but softly. They inject us with their thought processes and they make us do things which are wrong. So if we would like to promote the problems that are there, like Guru Gobind Singh Sahab Ji or Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahab Ji, their sacrifices is something that we would want to propagate. We do not want to propagate what...
So you propagate that. Who's stopping you from doing that? If a Christian wants to propagate their religion, what is the problem in that? I've studied abroad. Nobody forced me to, in fact, convert into Christianity. I don't know what kind of people that you interacted at LSE. So many people I know that have studied in LSE and have come out with great flying colors from there. But I want to know one thing. In India, the law tells you that you can celebrate your religion, you can preach your religion, you can't forcibly convert people. If there is any forcible conversion, you can go and complain. Beyond that, why are people taking it on themselves to do this?
They take advantage of your situation. My question to you, sir, is that why is
May I
this bias?
say something?
Why is this bias
You've
thought
called me
process
here.
only towards
May I
Hindu?
speak?
Why don't they go to
My people who are being
why don't they go to any masjid?
insulted, beaten up, harassed.
Tell me one thing. They are celebrating their festival. Are they allowed in this country or not?
Why vulnerable kids? Why in schools and
So when
colleges?
the Prime Minister, the Vice President and the President go to a church, are they propagating Christianity? Are they telling people to convert?
Exactly my point. When the President is supporting them, they should not have a problem. It should be an individual problem. Then this mudda should not be, this case has to be overlooked because it is only done by one person. But it is an issue.
It is not overlooked because then, even then, the message does not percolate to people like you that people are allowed to celebrate their festivals without any fear. That's what this country does. John Dayal come in at this. Ishika is saying that because of her own personal experience, she feels that there has been this soft conversion approach which is taking place. People are trying to convert, and that is a problem, that these symbols are a propagation of conversion, towards conversion.
Is that question for me?
No,
Sir, I think
Mr. John Dayal.
I need not say anything. My case and the case of my people has been more than proved in what we have heard in the last 20 minutes. All I want to say is, it is for the government. By the way, the right to propagate is in the Constitution in letters of gold, in the Constitution of India. The right to profess, practice, and propagate a religion, any religion. It doesn't name religions. What I wanted to say was something different. The rule of law must prevail. For the rule of law to prevail, the rulers, the makers of the law, the implementers of the law must enforce this rule of law on people who are ruffians, on thugs, as you call them, goons, as you yourself call them. I don't have to call them.
Okay.
How can anybody convert anybody by force in a country where of more than 120 crore Hindus, where the Prime Minister, the President, the governors, the police officers, the Thanedar, the Chaprasi, everybody is a Hindu. How can anybody force anybody to become a Christian?
And eventually, even if there is a complaint, that has to be dealt in accordance with the law. There are laws for it, not people outraging and taking the law in their own hands and trying to, in fact, teach a lesson to anybody. And Ishika, I also heard that you've been outraging about what has happened in Bangladesh. You are well within your rights. Everybody should, in fact, speak in the most vociferous voice in what is happening in the attacks on the minorities. But you lose the moral right to do that if you, in fact, propagate hate against the minorities in your own country. I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me on this broadcast. There is another story that I wanted to shift my focus to. As I told you, this is also a shameful one, which in fact has come in from Odisha, where at least 18 athletes from Odisha who were set out to represent their state at the 69th National School Wrestling Championship in Uttar Pradesh were allegedly forced to travel in inhumane. And I should take that word allegedly because the visuals speak for themselves. Look at the condition of these athletes. They are traveling next to the toilet in the train. This video has gone viral. Athletes are seen crammed outside the toilet along with their luggage. The athletes reportedly did not have confirmed tickets. The State Education and Mass Education Department had sent 18 players, including 10 boys and 8 girls, to the national level competition. Only 4 players had confirmed tickets for the onward journey. If the government could not make the arrangements for them, why were they sent? Why were they sent? The remaining athletes had to travel in general compartments, sitting on the steel floor near the train toilet in this biting cold. The area near the toilet is often stinky. It's a narrow passage. People keep coming and going. Just take a look. And then we expect sports to take this country to a different level. We expect Olympic medals from our young athletes. And this is how we treat them. Absolutely shameful. Absolutely shameful. Nothing else. The government of Odisha should in fact hang its head in shame. This is how you've sent the people and represent young people to represent your state in a championship. Sunita Godara is an Asian marathon champion who is joining me at this moment. So is Dr. Krishna Punia, Olympian, international gold medalist, Indian discus thrower, a 2 times Olympic participant. Thank you so much to both of you for joining me. Krishna ji, I want to ask you this. You know, this is not the first time I have played out visuals like these on my television screen of young athletes being thrown in the most difficult situation. टॉयलेट के पास बैठ के जा रहे हैं ट्रेन में, किस तरह की उन लोगों को सुविधाएं मिलती हैं, एंड द रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट इज कि कंफर्म टिकट नहीं था इसलिए जनरल में भेज दिया. दिस इज द प्रायोरिटी दैट वी गिव टू स्पोर्ट्स इन दिस कंट्री.
अंकित जी, हाँ, ये बहुत शर्मनाक है हमारे देश के लिए। एक तरफ से तो सरकार कहती है कि हम ओलंपिक हमारे देश में कराना चाहते हैं, और दूसरी तरफ से इस तरीके की व्यवस्था खिलाड़ियों के लिए ट्रेन की टिकट तक हम दे नहीं सकते हैं, और ओलंपिक के मेडल की बात हम करते हैं, और जो बच्चा अपने संघर्ष से कोई पदक जीत के आ जाता है तो ये लोग फोटो खिंचवाने आगे आ जाते हैं। बड़े शर्मनाक वीडियो ये जो हम देख रहे हैं, हमें इस पे बड़ा शर्म महसूस हो रही है कि आज कॉमनवेल्थ और ओलंपिक की बात की जाती है कि भारत में होना चाहिए। दूसरी तरफ से कहाँ बुलेट ट्रेन की बात चलती है और वंदे भारत की बात चलती है, और यहाँ पता लगता है कि आम आदमी की पहुंच वहां तक नहीं है। और ये जो स्टूडेंट्स जा रहे हैं, एथलीट्स जो जा रहे हैं, उनके लिए जहां जाकर इन्होंने नेशनल में पार्टिसिपेट करना है, तो मैं ये कहती हूँ कि हमारी जो सत्ता पक्ष है जो केंद्र में बैठा है, उसे इससे सबक लेना चाहिए कि हमें जो है हमारे खिलाड़ियों की बेसिक जरूरतें ही पूरे नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। टैलेंट सर्च करने चाहिए, उनके ऊपर काम करना चाहिए। उनकी बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, ट्रैवलिंग है, हर तरीके से उनका डाइट का प्लान है, सारा कुछ हमें करना चाहिए। लेकिन हवाई बातें करने से ओलंपिक में मेडल नहीं आएंगे। चुनिंदा लोग नीरज चोपड़ा की तरह।
बट कृष्णा जी, इज दिस अ सिस्टमिक प्रॉब्लम कि जब तक कोई किसी तरीके से सिस्टम से लड़कर सारी विपरीत परिस्थितियों में अगर अपना नाम ना बना ले, तब तक आपको इन्हीं तरह की परिस्थितियों में झेलना पड़ेगा? ये आपकी सिस्टमिक प्रॉब्लम है इस देश की।
बिल्कुल, ऐसे परिस्थितियों से हमें गुजरना पड़ता है, और ये तो बहुत चुनिंदा कोई वीडियो हमारे सामने आ जाती है, और हमारा खिलाड़ी हर रोज ऐसी परिस्थितियों से लड़ता है। धरातल पर अगर हम जाकर, ग्राउंड लेवल पर अगर हम जाकर देखते हैं, तो मैं बड़ा शर्म की बात है कि हमने देखा है बच्चों के पास जूते तक नहीं है। वो फर्स्ट क्लास लेकर कैसे जा सकता है? ये सिस्टम की कमी है, और सिस्टम कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से चलता है। इसीलिए मैं कहती हूँ कि हमारी सरकार को इसकी तरफ ध्यान देना चाहिए।
किसकी जिम्मेदारी होती है मैम इस तरह के इवेंट्स में जब बच्चों को भेजा जाता है? तो क्या जिम्मेदारी एजुकेशन बोर्ड की जिसने इनको भेजा है, सरकार की जो वहां पर ये इस तरह के इंतजाम कराती है, उनकी जिम्मेदारी नहीं होनी चाहिए कि इंश्योर करें कि इनको कम से कम कंफर्म टिकट मिले?
होनी चाहिए, बिल्कुल होनी चाहिए, और सरकार का उसकी तरफ ध्यान जाना चाहिए। अगर सरकार उस पर एक्शन नहीं लेगी तो कल फिर दोबारा से ऐसे वीडियो जारी होंगे। आप देख सकते हैं कि जयपुर जैसे शहर के अंदर खेलो इंडिया इंटर यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स जब हुए हैं, एक खिलाड़ी वहां पर दौड़ रहा था क्योंकि सिस्टम की कमी थी। कहीं ना कहीं खेल मंत्रालय की अनदेखी थी। करोड़ों वहां पर रुपए जाया हुए, और एक तरफ से मैं कहती हूँ कि यहाँ पर हमारे बच्चों को टिकट तक नहीं मिल पा रही है रेलवे टिकट्स में, जिसमें अच्छे से वो ट्रैवल कर सके। तो आप ट्रैवल ही नहीं कर सकते हैं तो पदक कैसे जीतेंगे?
इज दिस द फेलियर ऑफ द खेलो इंडिया मूवमेंट एज वेल? बिकॉज आप कोशिश कर रहे हैं ग्रास रूट से खिलाड़ियों को प्रोत्साहित करने की, क्या उसका फेलियर नहीं है? अगर बच्चों को इस तरह की सुविधाएं मिल रही हैं, तो ये सुविधाएं कि आप टॉयलेट के साथ बैठकर आइए, इवेंट खेलकर आइए, और सर्दी में ठिठुरते हुए टॉयलेट के पास बैठकर वापस आइए।
बिल्कुल सही बात है। सिस्टम जब चलता है तो सिस्टम के ऊपर किसी ना किसी व्यक्ति की जिम्मेदारी है ना। क्या वो अपनी जिम्मेदारी से आंखें बंद करके बैठे हैं? तो जो लोग आंखें बंद करके बैठे हैं, उन लोगों को आज देखने की जरूरत है। क्या वो अपने बच्चे को, खुद के बच्चे को इस तरीके से भेज सकता है जो सिस्टम में जिम्मेदारी लिए बैठे हैं, या सरकार पे पद पे बने हुए जो लोग हैं, क्या वो अपने बच्चे को इस तरीके से यात्रा कराना पसंद करेंगे? ऐसे माहौल में खेल करवाना पसंद करेंगे? इतने अभाव में अपने वो बच्चे से खेल करवा सकते हैं?
I just want to thank you so much, Krishna Punyaji, for joining us. We lost that line with Sunita Godara. I wanted to go across to her as well. But I want to end this segment, ladies and gentlemen, with, there is potential, so much potential in India that needs to be harnessed. If these kids, this is the facility that you give, no matter how many big ticket, celebrations or big ticket programs you bring to the country, whether it is the Commonwealth Games or even the Olympics, nothing absolves you of this shame. At one point of time, remember, it was Naveen Patnaik, the former Chief Minister of Odisha, who in fact, the government went and supported hockey and in the same state which took pride in supporting the Indian hockey team, the whole sport for many, many years, athletes, wrestlers are sent in this fashion. It's an absolute shame. Shame on the Odisha government and shame on all of us. We need to in fact speak about this so that young athletes can get much better facilities and treatment in this country. I want to take a very quick break at this moment. I'm coming back with much more on the other side. Stay tuned.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you are doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network.
Are you ready for the best show in town? NDTV Golf Pro-Am, we are coming to your city. Stay tuned.
शौर्य और महापुरुषों की पहचान, किले और हवेलियों की शान,
संस्कृति और परंपरा का मान, राइजिंग राजस्थान, विकास की छलांग,
प्रगति पथ पर अपना राजस्थान, नया राजस्थान, विकास भी विरासत भी। एनडीटीवी राजस्थान पर 24 दिसंबर।
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
This was one of the most magical, mystical performances we've seen.
This is like a shrine.
Coming and listening to you is like seeing a maestro perform at that shrine.
I think it was when
Welcome back. Anger is spilling onto the streets of Delhi tonight over the attacks on minorities in Bangladesh. Protesters gathered outside the Bangladesh High Commission, clashing with the police and burning effigies after the lynching of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Yadav, in the most horrible way in Bangladesh. Demonstrations were held across several Indian cities as well, even as Dhaka raised concerns over security of its mission in India. Take a look.
Attacks and anarchy in Bangladesh. anger and outrage on the streets of Delhi. Massive protests outside the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi. As anger boiled over the brutal killing of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das, by an Islamist mob in Bangladesh's Mymensingh area last week. Carrying placards demanding justice for Das and chanting anti-Bangladesh slogans. Protesters clashed with police and broke barricades, managing to break at least 2 layers of barricades. They also burned the effigies of Bangladesh's interim chief Mohammad Yunus. Cops lathi-charged the protesters to control the situation. Protests were organized in a number of cities across India against attacks on minorities in Bangladesh. 25-year-old Deepu Chandra Das, a garment factory worker, was lynched to death by a mob and his body was set on fire. Over alleged blasphemy in Mymensingh on December 18th. The incident sparked widespread outrage and condemnation. At least 12 people have been arrested for their alleged involvement in the murder. Bangladesh expressed concerns over attack on its diplomatic missions in India, summoning the Indian High Commissioner to protest incidents in Delhi and other cities. New Delhi rejected Dhaka's assertion, insisting there was no security breach. Over the last few days, Bangladesh has been gripped by violent anti-India protests and attacks on Indian mission by rampaging radicals. New Delhi has shut visa centers and has also called out Bangladesh's anti-India narrative. An NDTV Bureau report.
Meanwhile, amid massive protests on the streets of Bangladesh, Bangladesh interim chief Yunus Mohammad Yunus has reaffirmed his commitment to holding general elections on February 12th, saying that the country was determined to restore democratic rights that had been stolen by the autocratic regime. Days after the death of prominent Bangladeshi youth leader, Sharif Osman bin Hadi, which triggered widespread unrest and anger against Mohammad Yunus, former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has slammed the Yunus regime and has said that lawlessness has multiplied under Mohammad Yunus' interim government. Amid the ongoing turmoil, Mohammad Yunus chaired a high-level meeting to review the country's security situation. During the meeting, officials discussed the arrest and ongoing investigation into Hadi's case, with emphasis on ensuring transparent and speedy probe. But remember, Bangladesh is also on notice because of the continuous attacks on the minorities, especially the Hindus in Bangladesh. I'm slipping into a very short break. Coming back with much more. Stay tuned.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
A very special moment for us.
Welcome back. I want to now introduce somebody very, very special on the broadcast, Dr. G. Madhvi Lata. She has literally engineered history. She was awarded the NDTV Science Icon of the Year Award at the NDTV Indian of the Year Awards. And her role, in fact, in building the world's highest railway bridge over Chenab is absolutely phenomenal. A geotechnical genius who helped turn an impossible vision into reality. I spoke to her. Take a look. A feat which has been achieved in very extreme conditions. The geographical conditions, temperature, everything has been of the very extreme nature. 17-year-long project. And for you to lead that in a way, in a male-dominated industry, I must say, what were the challenges, obstacles, for you?
Thank you. Thanks for these questions. First of all, I want to correct you both. I was a part of this big, iconic national project, but I wouldn't call myself as the foundation or instrumental for this bridge because this is the vision of Indian Railways. And I was one of the technical contributors to the bridge. I'm very proud of my contributions to the bridge. At the same time, I don't want to carry the guilt of carrying someone's fame with me because I am one of the many. And whatever I did with conviction, I did with commitment, and that is the reason I'm in the news. But this glory belongs to Indian Railways and the construction companies and every engineer who worked. I worked with great minds of our country, so I don't want to steal their glory. This is for everyone, all of us. This is a moment of celebration for India, and we were a part of this big national project.
What a humble person you are. How difficult was it to make the tallest railway bridge of the arch kind, higher than the Eiffel Tower, in such fragile Himalayas?
Extremely difficult because I was there from the beginning till end. I have seen how this bridge is unfolding on those very complex geological conditions, extreme climatic conditions, and more than that, we are also expecting high seismicity in that region. And we are talking about a height of 359 meters, where wind is at a very speed, and when it is blowing at 220 kilometers per hour. So these are big, big challenges. And more challenges when we started the project is when we went forward, we found a lot of surprises. To our surprise, the geological conditions were continuously evolving. What we found on the surface is totally different from what we found when we went deeper after the excavation. So this is where the Indian Railways has the vision of design as you go approach, because we cannot follow a probabilistic method, which can be one of the solutions. Some of the countries follow that, but our codes are not well developed to adopt probabilistic analysis yet. So we had only this option that we go with what we have in our hand, and as we go inside, we evolve and we follow the geological conditions and redesign everything in real time.
Now, see, we face earthquakes in Himalayas. It's sitting on the main thrust fault. Earthquakes of 8 magnitude are expected. Can you place your hand on your heart and tell us that the Chenab Bridge will survive an 8 magnitude earthquake, and that area has not broken an earthquake in last 500 years?
That's a very difficult question, because every civil engineering structure is subjected to natural calamities and hazards. And if we follow the design exactly, and if the construction quality is up to what we design on the paper, 100% the bridge should withstand an earthquake magnitude of 8. But the construction and the safety is the responsibility of Indian Railways.
Can I just ask one, because these are very extreme, conditions that we are talking about, as Pallav and you both, in fact, just explained to our viewers. Were there? It's a very long project, 17 years. Were there ever moments of doubts? Was there any moment when you thought maybe it's an endeavor that is not possible, a feat which may not be achieved? And if there were, how did you overcome those doubts?
Yes. So there were moments where there were doubts not in the technical people, but in the government itself, because there were some objections raised by some people in the country that this is a very difficult terrain and we will not be able to build a bridge here. So the project was stopped for some time. And those were the moments where all of us felt that we started something. And if we stop now, what message we are giving to our country, and what will our kids and undergraduate kids know about this bridge and think that they started and India couldn't do this. So all technical people and the railways were very strongly supporting the construction and continuing with the construction of the bridge. But there were some problems due to which the bridge was stopped, the construction was stopped. But later, there were again changes in the political scenarios, and the government wanted the bridge to continue, and here we are, and we are seeing the Vande Bharat train running on the bridge.
Professor Madhavi, you are at Indian Institute of Science, Center for Sustainability, Civil Engineering Department, one of the finest institutions of the country. But as a child, you faced some very extreme poverty. How difficult was it to keep your focus, to become an engineer, join the Indian Institute of Science? Tell me a little bit about that. Very difficult days of your life.
You're right. I came from a very humble background, from a very small village, and things were not easy for me when I was growing up. Things were very difficult, and I was not even sure that I will study beyond 10th class, because my grandmother was ready with a groom, and then she said, this is it, you have to get married. But I was so passionate about studying further that when I begged, she said, if you come first in the school, you will study, otherwise you will stop. So that was not an option for me. So I had to work hard and I have to continue my studies. And there were several moments that come to my mind when you say about my childhood. It was a very happy childhood because it's a kind of joint family and we were all happy with what we have. But when I look back, what I can give to my children and what I was going through at that point of time, it was not an easy situation for any girl. And education is something very, very, coming to IASC, I don't think I would have dreamt about it. My dream was I have to travel across the world, I have to get into an aeroplane, all these things. But coming to IASC happened over the time. I evolved as a person.
Are you ready for the best show in town? NDTV Golf Pro-Am. We are coming to your city. Stay tuned.
शौर्य और महापुरुषों की पहचान, किले और हवेलियों की शान,
संस्कृति और परंपरा का मान, राइजिंग राजस्थान, विकास की छलांग,
प्रगति पथ पर अपना राजस्थान, नया राजस्थान, विकास भी विरासत भी। एनडीटीवी राजस्थान पर 24 दिसंबर।
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
This was one of the most magical, mystical performances we've seen.
This is like a shrine.
Coming and listening to you is like seeing a maestro perform at that shrine.
I think it was when Nadu sang himself for the longest Kavani. Yes, that for me was special.
When the first claps came in, I think my only prayers was all of you should be healed. May God give you a lot of prosperity, health, love, long life.
I was mesmerized.
I think it is one of the most magical evenings that I've spent.
बहुत ही अच्छा.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, Rahman is unmatchable.
It connected me to some spirituality.
This is India for me. This is India. This India I grew up, and this India I'm seeing now. It'll never change.
When you have somebody like A.R. Rahman, legend, maestro, I don't know which word should we choose. It was just a treat.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shivarur, NDTV.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. Lots lined up over the next 60 minutes. We'll have Vasudha get us an interview with the Environment Minister on that contentious Aravali issue. But we'll also focus on the big political battle in Tamil Nadu and the clash of the superstars that we expect in the new year on the 9th and the 10th of January. All that and more on the Southern View this evening. But first up, as the year comes to the close, the politics in Tamil Nadu heating up, every side getting ready. And today, the BJP's national in charge for Tamil Nadu, Piyush Goyal, Union Minister, was here in Chennai meeting with the BJP's core committee in Tamil Nadu. He also met with that crucial ally, Edappadi Palanisammy. We believe, according to sources, several points of discussion took place as the top brass of the NDA in Tamil Nadu, as it is, the AIADMK and the BJP met and discussed, including the possibility of getting all the fragments of the AIADMK and smaller parties under the NDA umbrella. Remember, Edappadi Palanisammy had already issued that all small parties which are opposed to the DMK are welcome to join. Of course, that big question on whether there will be any kind of understanding with the TVK remains open. For the moment, Tamil Nadu looks like a three-way fight. But in the midst of all this, Udayanidhi Stalin, the DMK's Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has hit out again at the AIADMK yesterday. He called the AIADMK and Edappadi Palanisammy as completely having capitulated to the BJP, and even called the AIADMK Amit Shah Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. So the political action heating up. Let's listen in to both Udayanidhi Stalin as well as Union Minister Piyush Goyal, who is here in Chennai, before we head to our first panel this evening.
எதிர்க்கட்சி தலைவர் இருக்கிறார் திரு எடப்பாடி பழனிசாமி அவர்கள். இன்னைக்கு அவர் மொத்தமா டோட்டலா அமித்ஷாவோட காலில் சரண்டர் ஆயிட்டாரு. அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் என்பது இன்னைக்கு அமித்ஷா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகமாக மாறிடுச்சு.
We are very confident that NDA will have a sweeping victory in the 2026 elections. We have discussed today various plans for the coming few months. We are going to work to to meet the people of Tamil Nadu, to meet the aspirations of the youth of Tamil Nadu, to meet the demands of growth, jobs, and progress that Tamil Nadu has suffered under the corrupt regime of DMK.
Well, so the BJP AIADMK alliance coming under sharp attack from the DMK, as it has been since the last few years. The DMK accusing the AIADMK of being a B team of the BJP. Of course, several political repercussions of that in Tamil Nadu. Joining us this evening is Kovai Satyan of the AIADMK.